channel. Oh, I can add moderators. Ah, we love it. Baby, we love it. Woo! Maybe I should have tried the other one. Guys, I really want to know why, if you have like, I think it's 3B or 3C, probably 3C hair, why it is so hard to get your hair silk pressed straight at home. Like no matter what I do, it looks straight, but it's puffy. At the root, it's puffy. And it's not humid in here. Maybe my sections are too big. I need help. But on a brighter note, let's talk about weight loss. I'm trying to get in not even the mindset, I'm just trying to get used to being behind camera again, or in front of the camera, because I got so used to having like a private life. You know, if you have followed me or my journey or this channel especially, you know that I used to share every little intimate detail about my life. And once I did that, especially on this channel, when I was with my son's dad, it got to the point that when I was putting him in my videos, everyone in the comments was telling me just some crazy stuff, right? And in regards to our relationship, and once we split, all the questions just start pouring in, and it's like you're already processing stuff like that on your own in your own life, and then people start assuming they think they know what happened, right? And that's just one scenario that goes on forever. But anyway, I just went off on a tangent. Back to weight loss. So I am now 31. I'm 31 years old, and I'm grateful because I'm trying my best to acknowledge my wins, right? Hold on, let me put that there. I need a moderator, by the way. We're good right now, but I know the numbers are gonna get up, and once you hit like 30 viewers, I don't know what it is, on YouTube, your like trolls just start coming, just saying like weird stuff. So if any of you guys want to moderate, if you stick around, please let me know. But I have one more question. One more question, because I've just been in my head so bad, all day. I went to a natural hair care stylist to get my braids taken out last night, and she also washed, conditioned, blow dried, and trimmed my hair. But she detangled my hair dry, no products, after washing, before and after washing, I'm sorry. And then after she washed it and detangled it, she trimmed it dry. And I don't know why it just doesn't feel like you're supposed to do either one of those things. Maybe that was I had like poor judgment when it comes to like who I picked to do my hair. But she's like, I've been doing hair for 14 years. Have you been making people's hair fall out for 14 years? Because when I hear natural hairstylist, I'm thinking you work with natural hair and you know how to keep it healthy. But I just felt like doing both of those things were a very unhealthy thing to do with my type of hair. So anyway, if you have any expertise, if anyone is a cosmetologist or knows anything about hair, let me know if you should always have your hair trimmed wet, or I know sometimes they blow it out and they get the ends that they don't get while it's wet, but I don't know. I'm having some second thoughts. So, back to me being 31. So, losing 200 pounds when you are any age, if you do it on your own, is not easy, right? If you don't do it on your own, if you go the surgery route, um, hey girl, what's up? I'm gonna try not to like keep getting off track because anybody who's known me for like any amount of time knows like that's me. But me and baby boy are good. He is no longer a baby. He's almost 9. That's crazy, right? Um, and moving forward on this channel, because one of my biggest goals is to start making content again, um, consistently and posting on YouTube consistently. But I allowed a situation in my life, I allowed fear in my life to, what does it keep turning off? To keep me from making healthy decisions and expressing myself in the creative manner that I used to. So the reason I bring all of this up is because right now I'm finally starting to lose weight again. I'm finally starting to actually see results in the gym. And in the past 2 or 3 years, I have been so stressed and people pleasy and walking on eggshells that it destroyed my nervous system. When that happens, you're not losing weight. Your stress levels are high. Your cortisol is just through the roof. And when your cortisol is high, it tells your body to store the fat because there's a lion chasing after you, right? A lot of us get the whole concept of fight or flight, but people don't realize that stress is not just a job that you don't like, right? Stress is not just arguing with your spouse or your kids or whatever. Stress is not speaking up for yourself. Stress becomes overtraining. Stress is crazy. And I'm going to try to make a video about this. I'm realizing while I'm talking about it right now, a lot of these feelings are kind of fresh. And I'm one to not process my feelings. I'm just like, oh, that doesn't feel good. Okay, let's move on to the next thing, or let's do something that will keep me from having to feel these emotions. And when you're on a weight loss journey, you might not know it, but especially if you are very overweight, the weight that you're holding on your physical body is not just caused by what you're eating. Obviously, if you're just eating fast food all your life and you're like eating to the point that you want to throw up every day, could have a big something to do with it. Calories in, calories out, I get it. But weight loss or weight gained spiritually will eventually manifest as weight on your physical body. So, in the past few years, when I was in, I won't say a very unhealthy relationship, but it was very codependent. And there was a lot of moments that I felt like if I speak up and I say how I truly feel in certain situations and scenarios, we're going to get in an argument. And eventually, like my brain was thinking of it of argument or disagreement, tension equals breakup. So instead, I'll shut the fuck up, right? And just hope that these problems go away. And I know for the people that I'm speaking to, for the women who I will be working with in the future, they are me. They they have lived my story. And although, a lot of our book covers and the pictures and the pages might look a little different, they get it. They get so many of the things that I have gone through. And at 30, I'm processing now that a lot of the weight that I carried from a young age was not just from what I was eating, right? Because a lot of the time I was eating the same thing as the family members in my home, and none of them were overweight. Shrinking all the way down until, like, what is that? Like, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, when you're just a tiny little person looking up at the world. That's what it felt like. And I got to a point this past month during retrograde where I was like, I can't shrink anymore. My nervous system, my body, my mind, spirit, everything is not allowing me to do it anymore. So now is the point I have to choose myself. And in doing so, it was not easy, of course. When is choosing yourself easy when you've been used to pleasing everyone else? Or not, I won't even say pleasing everyone else, because sometimes you think by doing what someone else wants you to, or what you think that they want you to do, all of a sudden everything is fine. But sometimes you don't even know what they want you to do, and now you're still upset and nobody's happy. So I just know that me being stressed out so many of those years while I was younger, the body keeps the score. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm kind of processing this as I'm speaking in real time. And I thank you guys so much for anybody who ever tunes in with me when I get on live on YouTube, because it's so crazy that this feels like such a safe space to me. What is my sign? I'm not acting like my sign today. I'm pretty emotional today. I might cry. I might cry, and I've like I want you to guess though. I want you to guess. If you guess wrong twice, I'll tell you. But I'm always curious to know what people think I am, because when I talk to strangers in Sag? What gives Sag? I think they are such mean people. Do I give mean? Well, not mean. They give off very blunt, direct. Okay. Ooh. She said, I'm not mean. I'm just kidding. One of my women Sagittarius, I can get along with. Men Sagittarius, the ones I've come across in my life, have been very, very mean. And I didn't date any of those. One was my brother. But yeah, very blunt and very direct. And you do come off mean in some moments to the wrong people. Just saying. But y'all do love to travel the world, okay? Give it one more guess. I'm not a Sag. Not a Sag. Not even a fire sign, baby. Ah! I am a Capricorn. Yes, I'm a Cap. I am very much a Capricorn. And even deeper than that, all my placements are in Capricorn except one. Except one. I bought I forget the company, but this company took my birth chart and made an actual book, like story out of it. And it's crazy, like reading a book about yourself. It feels like reading is it a biography or autobiography? Thanks, girl. I stopped taking clients because I'm just like, y'all know I live in the gym, and that was messing with my health at one point too, because I was in the chair with clients all day. Mind you, I never sped up and got super quick. So if you got your nails done by me, you were at my house for hours. And I would be like, like that, like for hours. So I would get up, I would be hunched, I'd have chemical in my nose, even with the thing on and a mask on and the thing collecting the dust under my nails. I felt terrible when I woke up. I would be super puffy in the face. I'm super puffy in the face right now because I cried like all night. Like all night. I'm lying. I'm so dramatic right now. I cried for like an hour on the way home from my hair appointment. But it was a good cry. It was like a needed cry. It was like I'm gonna talk to God all the way home with the music off type of cry. And I hadn't had one of those for a long time. But waking up today, I felt it. Spiritually, I felt it. And I feel like I've been having to release a lot of stuff all day. But I'm grateful because I'm trying to allow myself to feel. Capricorns do not like to feel. We like to acknowledge, analyze, and next, trying to do better. And then on the opposite end, I'm a Cancer. A Cancer ascendant or Cancer rising. And I know I very much give my Cancer side more, especially when I'm talking here because it feels like my safe space. Go figure, talking to any stranger on the internet who wants to hop in my chat, right? But I think it's the feelings that I got from YouTube when I first started doing it. And I hold like such a high regard to the people who supported me in my earlier days during my weight loss journey. So yeah, I'm all over the place, guys. Just talk me through it. Just talk me through it. I'm drinking Joy Burst right now. If you've never had it, it's fire. I get it from Costco. I don't know if all locations have it. I love it so much that I wrote the company, like, can we work together, please? They're based out of Canada, and they're only working with people in Canada right now. So they were like, no. But, you know, if we ever branch out to the States or to the US, we'll make sure to let you know. No, you won't. No, you won't. But it's okay, because maybe I'll create a better drink by then. But even if I don't, it's fine. Joy Burst Hydration, I believe. They also have a website you can buy it from. If you don't get it at Costco, it's like $50 a case for, I want to say either 16 or 18. They come in a carton. I'm going to do a video pretty soon of like some of the treats that I like to have during my I'm not really in weight loss maintenance mode. I'm honestly not even tracking my weight much. I'll check it maybe like every 3 weeks to a month. But right now I'm really working on like body recomposition. Let me show y'all. And I'm a little bloated today, so don't eat me. Don't eat me up, but I'm finally like starting to see progress in building my glutes when like I've never before. And I don't have on like my normal waist trainer and stuff, so I'm proud. I'm proud. It took me a long time. I found a 12 pack at Walmart for 12 for 24. That ain't bad. It is not bad. Thanks, girl. And a big part of the conversation that I wanted to talk about around weight loss, and of course I always want to give anyone tuning in like the chance to like ask me questions or advice when it comes to losing weight naturally, because obviously that's what I do. But I also want to stress, no pun, how much stress affects your journey, whether that be you trying to lose weight or gain muscle, or just your overall health and well-being, right? Because I've been more stressed than I have ever been in my entire life. Or I say that, right? But perspective shift. Maybe I was stressed back then, but my body was more tolerant of stress. Now, my spirit and my physical body does not tolerate stress well. if I overwork or overtrain my body one day out of the week in the gym, I do not recover well for 2 to 3, maybe 4 days. And I found this pattern within myself because I always felt, maybe because of my journey starting out this way, I thought the only way I'm going to lose weight is to not just eat less, but eat very, very nutritionally dense food, along with doing high intensity cardio or strength training, just a bunch of like everything keeping your heart rate up for extended periods. And I'm realizing now the only way that my body responds at this point is to do gentle things, is to do long walks, is to do Pilates. And even some movements in Pilates feels like it might be a little too much. Um, I feel like I'm processing years and years and years of trauma out of my body. So before my body can feel safe, and that's huge, your body has to feel safe for you to let go of the weight, no matter what the reason is that you're holding on to it, right? But especially if you are trying to lose a large amount of weight, we need to work on the issues that are keeping the weight on you, right? Because sometimes it's not just as big as I need to eat better and I need to work out. Yeah, you'll probably start feeling a little better, but there's a reason that you've been putting those things off. Not just because you're lazy. That is definitely a thing. But for a lot of people who come to me or go to a coach or a trainer and they're like, I've tried everything. I'm eating right. I'm doing the work, right? But you're not seeing results. And I get there's health conditions. PCOS is a big thing for the women, okay? And I'm not talking about that, but even PCOS, I believe, and if you ever work with me, do a webinar type of thing with me, because I'm moving into that space, you're going to take in a lot of the, I guess you could say, pillars. When I start doing these things, by the way, I don't want it to feel super like she's so professional and like I feel like I'm in every other session with a coach that says the same things. I told myself and I told God, when we go on this journey together and we start helping other women like me, I'm not just helping the women that want to lose 20, 30 pounds for vanity. I want to help and reach the women that want to dramatically change their entire life. You feel me? So whether that be there's something in your life keeping you from keeping the weight off, right? Because we have good moments. We have disciplined chapters and some seasons of our life we're like more optimistic and we have higher energy than others. We have more time, whatever. That stuff fluctuates. But if you really care about your health and your body, whether for aesthetics or not, you learn how to make that a lifelong thing. You learn to make that a priority. Okay, let me see. Oh, that could have been bad. Let me try to read this. It's a little dark. Oh, I have to put this up so I can see the words. How do I lose my stubborn belly fat? I feel like I've definitely tried everything, and I'm seeing people who've had babies and they drop the belly fat as soon as the sun comes. How is this happening? Okay, so one, we have to acknowledge genetics at some point, right? Some women just have a little bit better snapbacks than others, especially if you've ever struggled with your weight prior to having kids. For me, obviously, I lost the 200 pounds before getting pregnant with my son. And once I had him, I got all of 25 pounds off in like a month after, right? So I dropped that quick. And I hadn't had my skin removal yet. So I don't know if I would have had like a hanging stomach more, or I feel like it might have made it drop a little more. But anyway, that's my experience. Aside from genetics, there are still things that you can do. If you have stubborn belly fat, you are struggling with insulin resistance in some way. It may not be dramatic. It may not be to the point that you're going to be diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, right? But your body is struggling to either pump out the right amount of insulin. I don't know how to explain it perfectly. I'm not a doctor. I understand it in my mind, but struggling with insulin resistance basically comes back to sugar, right? Having too many refined carbohydrates, and you may be eating right? You may be eating very healthy. You may be trying to keep your starches down, not eating processed food. When you say doing everything, I get it. You've probably tried everything you can in your mind. But when it comes to stubborn belly fat, some of it is visceral fat, where not only fat, like solid fat, is held, but where toxins are held, right? So I'm going to give you 3 tips. And I don't know if you follow me on Instagram. I'm going to work on being more consistent on this channel, or at least trying to do more lives and talk to you guys until that point. But if you do follow me on Instagram, I say that because you can reach out to me and let me know after I tell you these things. Number 1, it's going to be a shift and a change if you don't already do this. But when you wake up in the morning, lemon, lime, you don't have to do the cayenne pepper part. That kind of just boosts your metabolism. This is like my morning tonic, right? And this has actually helped me just in the past month start losing belly fat, and I'm training my glutes. So before, my stomach was a lot. It poked out more than my glutes. And now it's finally starting to shift a little bit. So this is what I've been doing. And this has helped me tap into the fat that I just thought, oh, that's coming on with age. Maybe it's like perimenopause or something. Like, I'm thinking wild stuff. But first thing I started doing was drinking that tonic, which the way I drink mine is water, like warm to hot water. I usually use lime, a little bit of salt for the hydration, because obviously you wake up pretty dehydrated most mornings, and apple cider vinegar. After drinking just that, I go on a walk, and it doesn't have to be a long walk, right? Because when I started trying to program this into my mind, I'm like, how am I going to do this? Every morning, I can't. And I have a dog, right? For now. But one, I can take the dog on a walk, and we do about maybe half a mile, which is the equivalent of like going around my block, or it's not really a block, but yeah, like half a mile, 0.60, something like that. And by the time I come back in, I'm like, oh, I feel like I did an entire workout, and I'm not running nothing. I'm just walking fasted. So just drinking water is an option too. You don't have to do the other thing that I mentioned. But apple cider vinegar for me has always kind of been like an energy drink somewhat. Before I started like drinking Celsius and Bloom and pre-workouts, apple cider vinegar shots were my thing before going to the gym. And I'm trying my hardest to get back to that. And it's hard when you have went on a weight loss journey and you become like a gym girl, and you feel like, oh, she's drinking pre-workout, I need to try that. I need to get this so I have energy. One, if you're one of the people that work like a 9 to 5 or traditional job, and you get off at like in the evening and you haven't worked out, and you're like, okay, I'm going to push myself to go work out, you're not going to have a lot of natural energy, right? So at different points in my life, that was kind of my story. And I was like, I need this, baby, to get through this good workout, so I feel like I have a good one. But the more caffeine that you drink in a single day, especially when you drink it before you work out, and then you work out with energy that your body genuinely does not have, it's like using, I always compare the two to like using a credit card, right? You use it when you don't have the money, but you're going to have to pay it back tomorrow, right? Or whenever. But you're going to have to pay for it, right? It's not just like energy that you can access and your body's not going to you need to pay me back for all of what I did for you this week, or you're not going to have energy and you're going to have to lay it down. How to... My doctor prescribed metformin due to insulin resistance, but I'm afraid to be reliant on meds. True story. I was prescribed metformin many times in my life. Just at the, like, I could say one little thing, metformin. Like, doctors are quick to put you on metformin. And if you've taken it, you know the first side effect you're dealing with is diarrhea, right? Because basically any carbs you're eating is turning into liquid, basically, and you're going to be dehydrated. I used to, and this is like, I'm grateful to share this with you guys right now. I've had so many healthier mindset shifts during maintenance versus when I lost or was losing the weight. Because when I was in the process of trying to lose all the weight back then, I would do anything that I thought would make me lose weight. I was doing it naturally, but I'm like, oh, if I do this detox, if I fast, and I wasn't doing it in a healthy way, right? I was just doing it because I knew it would make me lose weight. If I drink magnesium citrate or any of these other like laxatives or something that's going to make me clear me out, I'm like, yes, I want to do it. And I ended up like my skin was drying out. I was irritable all the time. And I just thought that was my body like processing things. But your body does not always want to be in detox mode, right? Simple little like lemon water throughout the day, maybe a apple cider vinegar shot. But being in detox all the time, your body is never taking in any of the nutrients that it needs to. So yeah, you losing weight and you're also losing nutrients and vitamins and possibly your hair. Not over here, but you know what I'm saying. I've seen on TikTok recently, there's like a whole trend or thread, or I don't know the terms, of stories of women that have either had weight loss surgery or taken Ozempic or shots, whatever, and they lose like almost all their hair, or it thins out terribly from losing the weight so fast, I guess. I don't know. But it's like the same thing, same concept. If you are detoxing so much, let me see here. Ooh, no, baby, not down to the cheeks. I love that for you. I'm trying to get back, cause after that girl done, she was like, girl, I'm just gonna cut off just a little bit. We just gotta, and I'm gonna keep your length, cause that's what I do. I get my hairs probably long to somebody that doesn't have long hair, but my hair was definitely like here yesterday, and she cut like 4 inches off, and I could have cried, but I was like, you know what? It's just hair. I'll probably have it back up in braids within a month. It's gonna grow back, yada yada, whatever. But back to the topic. On top of fasting or doing fasted cardio, gentle cardio, doing stretches, there are actually a couple workouts or workout movements, exercises, whatever, that I would recommend. And I have to preface this with, you can't spot train or lose fat in a specific area of your body, blah, blah, blah. But in my experience, if I'm doing nothing else, if I change nothing else in my entire routine, but I start doing crunches, like 100 crunches every day before I go to bed, I'm going to see a difference. You're going to see a difference. So I think that's just like a disclaimer in case people don't type of thing, but I don't speak on what I don't know. But doing planks, reverse planks, um, what else? Bird dogs. Once I finish, I don't know that will still be on live. By the time I finish my hair, I was about to say I can show you these movements. Matter of fact, I can show you right now because I ain't doing nothing till later. Um, oh my God. My stress levels are high today. I can feel it. I can definitely feel it because my face is super puffy, and I have not been eating anything processed, anything like that. So I'm much more intuitive when it comes to my body, and I say that right now because I want you to be the same way, whether you're on a weight loss journey or not. You know your body best if you are in tune with it. Moving along. So let me show you. Let me show you here. Where's the best place to put the phone? Okay. So doing these movements that I'm going to show you right now will definitely help with the overall appearance of visceral body fat or stomach fat. For me, my stomach doesn't always go like fupa out. I gain weight, I guess because I had a tummy tuck. I gain weight at the top of my stomach. So it makes like my bottom look small and my top very heavy. But I digress. So first move, obviously planks. Most people get the form of a plank. I try to do a 2-minute plank every day, every morning, as soon as I wake up. I know that's excessive for a lot of people. I don't tell anyone to do a 2-minute plank. If you can challenge yourself, that's great. I do it to start my discipline, starter, like turn on my discipline for the day, because 2 minutes has never been so long until you try to do a plank. But that's the time when I'm talking to God, when I'm telling myself how strong I am, all of the things that I need to hear while these endorphins are like going crazy. And when the 2-minute timer goes off and I drop, I feel incredible. There's like no other feeling. Other one, reverse planks. I don't have a lot of what is it called? Upper body strength. So, and I haven't trained like rotator cuff area, whatever muscles these are. I always mix them up, so I try not to say them. I know there's like delts and traps and biceps, triceps, all of it, but for time's sake, a reverse plank is maybe like this is a little better. Arms are behind you. You can't see my ankles, but I'm on my heels. Oops. I think I need to hold on. I gotta fix my watch. It's gonna pinch me. And then you probably aren't supposed to do it this way, but I end up on the pads of my fingers instead of the palms of my hand, which is probably the better way to do it. I don't know. But you just go up and you hold it as tight as you can. And if you get comfortable, you won't get comfortable. But if you get strong or stronger in this position, and then you feel like you can start like putting your feet up when you do it, that's even better. One of my favorites, which is one of the first workouts that I did in the gym when I started my weight loss journey, y'all, I'm telling you, I put myself through it in the early days of my journey. I did stuff that nobody at 300 pounds should probably even be trying to do, if they're not used to trying to do it already, if that makes sense. Like, if you've never done these type of things and then you just all of a sudden do it, you could very easily injure yourself if you're not in the proper form. So first thing I would do, and I don't have, my weights are downstairs, so I'll just demonstrate with this, with all my cavitation tools. I will take a weight, typically a plate. I want y'all to be able to see my full body, but this bed is so big. Let's see if we can do it this way. I'm gonna lay it here instead. Okay. Nah, that's not much better. Okay. I'll try to show you like the most important areas. So I'll take the plate, and you know, most of the workout plates, I use a 45-pound plate when I do this now. Don't recommend starting out with that. A lot of people will not feel comfortable starting out with that either. And again, I've been doing this for years. So I would start out with either a 10-pound plate or 25. I think that's the increments they go in. You could use a dumbbell too, but it's a little more uncomfortable that way for me. So I'll typically start with my feet up and the plate right here. And I'll go down, but my feet and the plate do not touch the floor. And then I'll come back up and I'll do 10 of those. And then I'll immediately go from like this. I'll go up. And when I come down the next time, I'll bend and stretch out. I guess kind of like a crunch, right? And they shrunk my waist so fast. I've never had like a teeny tiny waist, but when I was on my journey, my stomach disappeared quick from doing those. And I think that's when people started noticing like, oh, she's losing a lot of weight. But I hadn't lost a lot of weight in numbers yet, but I was losing the inches crazy. So fasted walks in the morning. Those movements that I just showed you. What else? It's good for visceral belly fat. I like to, oh, baby. I know what I said. Hold on. I know what I said about detoxes, right? Oh, there we go. Why is the light down so much? Hold on, I'm trying to. Is it up? Whatever. I know what I said about detoxes, but a really good one that is kind of invasive is chia seeds. Alexa, turn on all the lights. Okay. Chia seeds, boiled pineapple water. You can eat the pineapple too, or you can just boil and then blend the pineapple. Alexa, what's my notification?
Good evening, Cairo. One new notification from Amazon Shopping. Fragrances has arrived.
Yahoo! I've been waiting for my spray to come all week. I got one of those Arabic perfumes. I don't remember which one it is. I'm gonna go check in a little bit, but I smelled it in the beauty supply. So typically what I do is go to the beauty supply and smell them, because I see them on TikTok all the time, and I'm like, no, I need to smell it in person, because if I buy this and I can't send it back, I'm throwing it at something. So yeah, that just came. But fasted cardio, those movements when you're working out, and this is kind of a slept on thing, but when it comes to your diet, it's very important that you stop eating a good amount of time before you go to bed. I won't tell you how long that is. For me, I do not sleep comfortably or wake up comfortably. Like I don't know if it's like my metabolism slowing down or my body just not processing, digesting food properly after a certain hour because of melatonin levels setting in and your circadian rhythm and all of that. But I have to eat like 5 hours before I go to sleep. And it has to be earlier hours. Like it's 7:30 right now. If I eat after like 8:30 or 9, no matter what I eat, unless it's like a salad with nothing on it, and maybe even then, I'll wake up in the morning and feel like I just ate a half hour ago. I don't think that's normal, but maybe that's like part of just getting older. I don't know. Um, and then for a stubborn belly fat, the other thing I would recommend, thinking of every teen, there was a random week, and I'm not suggesting anyone do this either. But while I was on my weight loss journey, I found that I liked honey roasted or sea salt roasted peanuts. Mind you, I'm allergic to peanuts. Not like no, I won't say allergic. I have an intolerance to peanuts. I don't like, my throat is not going to swell up. I don't need an EpiPen. But when I eat peanuts, my fingers and toes, that's the first thing that happens. Immediately start throbbing, like thumping. I feel my heartbeat all over my body. And that's like a key uh, symptom of inflammation. So I stay away from them now. I learned my lesson. But back then, I didn't care. I went through the pain just so I could eat them. But I noticed I was eating like just like a whole big jar of peanuts at a time some days. Mind you, that's a lot of calories. I'd never counted calories in my life. But I was losing stomach fat. Like I was eating them and they was eating me back. I don't know if there's a certain like enzyme or if it's because they're also high in protein. I never even went into what that came from because I don't typically hear people say that they eat peanuts to lose weight. Um, but specifically in my stomach, I noticed I was like, yeah. And then what else? Stubborn, stubborn belly fat. So if we're struggling with stubborn belly fat and insulin resistance, a big thing we need to make sure we're doing throughout the entire day, no matter what you're eating, is keeping your blood sugar stable. So one thing I like to do, and I'm actually creating an ebook right now, my very first one. I'm super excited. And I've put so much of this information in there. But throughout the day, I don't do it with every single meal. I'm 3 meals and maybe a snack. I don't always eat the snack, but I'm like a 3 meal a day person at this point. Um, and I will eat a salad before my meals, right? But it's a very specific recipe. Very, like, you can use the greens that you want and that you don't want, but by putting apple cider vinegar, or it don't even have to be apple cider vinegar, it can be the clear white vinegar. I think the raw ACV works better, but that could be subjective too. But some form of vinegar, right? Not balsamic, not a very sweet one, but vinegar and olive oil, or if I don't have olive, I'll use avocado oil. But the mixture of healthy oil, healthy fat, and the acid from the vinegar, like, do something together with the one, it preps your digestion, right? But that also keeps your blood sugar stable, like for whatever you're about to eat after. So even if you're about to go eat a cake, you about to go eat a whole birthday cake, if you have that salad right before, one, you're not going to want to eat as much cake. You're going to feel more satisfied quicker. Even with all the sugar that you're intaking versus not having the salad with those specific things, right? I add salt and pepper too, but that's how I eat all my salads. You're going to, your blood sugar by like levels, if you took it after eating the cake without the salad first, is going to be very different than if you just ate the cake. If you woke up and ate, okay, better example, real life example. You know how people wake up and eat donuts or a croissant or bread? Crazy to me. But eat bread for the first thing that they put in their mouth in the morning. That's the quickest way to set your body up to want carbs and carbs and carbs throughout the entire day. Some people are lucky and can get away with it, have a better metabolism, are younger, whatever factors come into play. But for most people, over time, it's going to develop into a metabolic issue. So having not only the vinegar and the healthy fat that I mentioned, but also the fiber from the vegetables in the salad. Typically, I do like a mixed greens type of blend or something like that. And it always helps. It always like makes me feel more satisfied after my meal than if I just eat my meal. If I just like go straight for the protein or whatever. And this order also, this is not just directly for losing belly fat, but for losing weight in general and just keeping a healthier lifestyle, maintaining your weight. The order that you eat your food in matters when it comes to blood sugar stability. I don't know why that stuck out to me so quick. Okay. But the way that I eat my food is typically whatever vegetable I have on my plate, or I try to have a salad like what I just mentioned before most of my meals. So I'll have that. Then I will have the protein and fat, and whatever carb I have, I will typically eat that last. And if it's something like, I don't eat chicken, but I don't eat rice. I'm just starting to eat carbs again after like years of thinking that keto was the way, right? But my training was poor. My recovery was terrible when I was just eating low carb and not getting enough carbs. I eat sweet potatoes now. I used to be scared of sweet potatoes. And rice, oh, white rice, I will never. I can't see me getting back to that point. If so, baby, we in a whole different life. If you see me eating rice, I probably got a BBL. Just telling you. I don't know the connection, but I don't do rice. I've always felt like really bloated like immediately after eating white rice. Maybe because it's bleached, I don't know. But sweet potatoes, carbs. I try to eat my carb last, even if I have carbs now. And I try to eat my carbs on my heavier training days, which I have shifted from doing like 5 days in the gym to like, or 5 or 6 days in the gym. Used to do like 7, and I was seeing no results, by the way. I was just staying the same. Doing hard ass workouts all the time. And also not paying attention to my macros. When any women over 30, even 25, if you can catch it, then I say, you should know your body's macros, not the macros that a person is giving you to lose weight, but what feels comfortable. When you're in maintenance, when you're trying to lose weight, you're going to know typically, right? I'm not saying everybody is a professional, but once you get acquainted with what feels good, where your energy levels are stable or high, you're going to be like, oh, okay, I have been eating too much fat in my diet. It's making me feel a little more sluggish. I'm going to allow myself a little bit more carb and cut down the fat a little bit. You don't want to go under a certain amount. I can say for me, after I go under like 100 to 90 grams, anything under that when it comes to fat, I'll start noticing hormonal issues. And they say that a lot with women. If we do not have enough fat in our diet, we have a bad mood and our hormones are just all thrown off. So I'm not telling anyone to go like super low fat. Just pay attention to how much fat you're eating, because if you're not doing keto, if you're not doing low carb, no, not even low carb, it has to be keto. Because when you are on keto and you go into ketosis, your body is no longer burning carbohydrates for fuel, it has tapped into fat burning. If you have a diet that consists of both, your body is going to take the energy from the carbs first, every time. That's why I don't know if you guys have seen this video, or if it's even like a viral video, or if it's just one I saw. But this girl, she was like, I'm gonna get drunk and go to the gym. And I'm guessing she just did it for content, to have a video of something. Because one, that sounds dangerous. She was drinking before she ever left the house, so she drove drunk. Got there, drank before going into the gym, and I think her water bottle had alcohol in it. So not only are you like purposefully sweating, and I get this is what you do at the club, so, but she's sweating, she's dehydrating herself even more, and before her body can burn any fat, it has to completely get rid of all of the sugar stored in her body before it can tap into the fat. So just thinking about it, if you're someone that wants to lose fat and you are eating both carbs and fat, I'm not gonna, if we have like a one-on-one type chat, I can give you some things. But I'm not gonna tell anyone do keto. Don't do keto. Do eat carbs, right? Because overall, I want you to do whatever is sustainable for your body, your journey and your results and your fulfillment. So, but the reason I say that is because your body has to burn out the sugar stores before it can start tapping into the fat, okay? So just being cognizant. That got kind of deep, kind of quick. And I'm really sad that my hair is not as straight as I wanted it to be. It's getting a little puffy already. I'm kind of sad that I'm gonna go to the gym tomorrow too, and it's gonna be curly after like the first set. Yeah. So, in other news, I've started using mouth tape. Has anyone else used mouth tape? I think so far so good. I'm not noticing a dramatic difference. A lot of people say they see like a difference in their jawline. As I mentioned, right now I'm pretty puffy anyway. That'll go down. Like from how I look right now, it's crazy. Because after I go to the gym tomorrow, after I run or go to the sauna, my face will be back to normal. But crying most of the night and being my stress hormones just like always leaves me puffy. So I'm gonna drain my lymphatic system, and I need to call it a night early because today has been an extremely emotional day for me, and I've tried all the things that I know how to use, as far as like go take a walk, go to the gym, go to the park, go buy yourself something nice. I've done so many things to kind of like lighten my mood today, and it just feels like one of those days that I have to allow myself to feel, or we're not going to get past it. And if we do, we'll come back to it at another time. So I'm being conscious of that in my own life. I want to urge you to do the same. If you're someone who is used to carrying a lot of weight, not just physically, but a lot of stress on your heart or your shoulders, if you are the breadwinner of your family, or if you are the only person that you have to depend on and your life is very stressful, it is imperative that you find a way to put down what is not yours, especially overachieving, or not overachieving. because achieving things is great, right? But women, I'm that's my audience. That's the only people I'm talking to most of the time. I want to put this up here. Better. Okay. For a lot of high achieving women, they are trying to achieve so much because they do not feel fulfilled. One that don't work that good. Cause what? This feels like a blowout all over again. I'm very disappointed. But that's my hair. That's because it's been braided up for weeks probably. But I can answer that because I still have the box. Let me go ahead and close my blinds here. I need to get curtains, but I'm the man in the house, unfortunately. While I'm still in it, I'm the man. And I'm the one that does all of that type of like stuff that my dad normally did for me. Go figure. But the straightener or the flat iron that I use, this one? No, that's the blow dryer. Oh, but while we're on the topic of blow dryer, let me share that too. Because you know the Dyson blow dryer? I've had one and it broke. And I bought this one for $15 on, you can screenshot now. That's the brand. I bought it off of some girl on Marketplace. I think she like sold like Amazon packages or something. I don't know, but I looked it up on Amazon. It was only like $20, $30 on Amazon. And it's very comparative to a Dyson. Like it feels extremely high end. So that was like one of the best purchases I've ever made. But that's the brand of the flat iron that I have. Kristen S here. I got it at Target. It was $100. And tell me how bald-headed I am. If you don't know, when I say bald-headed, like bald-headed activities, bald-headed behavior, I'm speaking on some ratchet shit. So I bought the flat iron with plans to use it and take it back. I waited like one day too late to take it back, so I was stuck with it. And I was so disappointed because I'm like, I'm not somebody that buys $100 flat irons. It's not even a chi. But the time that I had it, and I kept it so long because I was using it so long because I loved it. But right now it's not doing much for me. You see, like it gives like blown out, not silk press. So, and normally when and it's not even on. There we go. Yeah, that's gonna annoy me. So what I'm probably gonna do is like, I've never learned how to put my hair in rollers, but I want to. Really want to. Hey girl. Ooh. I need some tips from like a stylist or something. Like, how do you get silk presses so flat? I know I have actually asked a couple of them when I'm like in their chair, and they tell me like a big part of it is the wash and blow dry, and how like, I don't know if it's how dry or I don't know. They say that's a big part of it though. But I feel like I cleansed and conditioned very well. But maybe my hair is just like trying to revert back to its curl. I don't know. I'm kind of over it though. I was so excited to straighten my hair, but see, obviously it's got the kink from being in the clip, but like This was my hair blown out. This is my hair straightened. It's not that different. I know that's probably not that interesting though. So I hope that this chat has been helpful. Before I go, I do want to ask you guys, if you were on a weight loss journey and you were looking for guidance or help, and you saw like a coaching program or an ebook, what would need to be included in it for you to be like, oh yeah, I need that? Because that's going to help me, because that's what I've been struggling with. I'm very interested to know, like, what is the general issue that at least women who connect or relate to me are dealing with. Of course, I know what I struggled with, but it's, at the end of the day, it's not all about me. And moving into this chapter of my life, I don't want things to be all about me. In the selfish way of like, I'm actually taking care of my inner child and doing for summer, yeah. But a big part of what is doing for summer is going to be reaching the women that I've probably needed to reach for years. And because I made things all about summer, or because I checked out of summer, I wasn't able to be present and do the work to attract those women into my life. A list of small to large goals. Elaborate, if you can. A list of small to large goals. Like, yeah, I feel like I'm trying to make too much up in my mind, and I'm probably overcomplicating it. Because at the end of the day, and I had this conversation with a friend of mine the other day, women know, one, we are intuitive by nature. We know what we need to do half of the time to lose weight. Some of us just need guidance. Some of us just need a quick question answered, to run off and then go do the work on their own. And some women just need an accountability partner, or someone that is going to check in and make sure that they're doing what they said they were going to do. I know, and I can attest to this in my own personal life. Once I lost weight, or once I started my journey, I became very consistent, very disciplined in a way I had never seen from myself before. And I thought that just made me a disciplined person, and that was going to bleed into like all the areas of my life, but it didn't. I have been so disciplined with my health, what I eat, working out consistently, but I haven't been consistent in being being like a present partner, or I haven't been consistent in a career. I haven't been consistent in a schooling program or graduating. Even I've tried a lot of different things, and I feel like I've lacked discipline in other areas. So don't know exactly what that has to do with everything, but yeah. Weight loss is not just based on the scale. That's very true. Very true. Non-scale victories are huge, because I wish I would have taken more pictures like literally a month ago, versus today, for you guys to see the progress that my body has made. But in order for me to see those results, it's crazy, because I was doing everything that I'm doing now. Everything. And I was seeing no results. The second that I decided to close a chapter in my life and walk away from something that was keeping me stressed, it made all the difference. And again, I get back to the topic of like stress and holding on to weight. And if you are holding on to too much spiritually, your body is going to hold on to it as weight. Um, you can look up this, I don't know if it's a statistic or study or what, but they say that women that are um, physically abused, or what do they say, or SA'd as a child or a young adult, will typically gain weight subconsciously, right? They're not even like doing it on purpose. Of course, there's like the mental side of like depression and everything that comes along with stuff like that, and traumatic experiences, but they start gaining weight to protect themselves. Their mind tells them that I'm not safe. As women, it doesn't even have to be something as traumatic as those type of experiences. It can be something that other people would look at like as small. Maybe you had a no, an aunt is not close enough. Maybe you had a big brother, just example, in your family that always called you ugly and pushed you or something, right? So that became such a traumatic experience to you that you no longer felt safe, right? And that might not have been the best example, but getting into a space where anything does not make you feel safe for long enough and you don't learn to be safe in it, because it could be a situation like that. Like if you're young enough, you're going to be around that brother for a few years, right? Before you can actually do anything about it. So learning not only coping mechanisms, but ways to keep your nervous system regulated, right? A lot of people don't pay attention to this stuff, and they think they can, shake off like other people's energy, or tell themselves they're fine or whatever, but your body is gonna keep the score. I'm telling you, eventually you're going to like spiral. If all the things that you do not deal with are still there to be dealt with later, you're gonna have to deal with it at some point or another. But yeah, I also want to make a video. I'm just kind of yapping now, but I'm going to save all of what you said too. It took me almost 7 years to lose 120 pounds, and that is still such an accomplishment, because so many people are going to go the next 7 years gaining 120 pounds. Ain't that crazy? You made enough decisions in your life for that 7 years to, I'm sure you know that weight loss is never linear. If so, I need to know how and who's doing it. No, because I'm still going to try to do it the natural way. But weight loss is not linear. It doesn't go, a journey does not go like this. It goes like this all through your life. Once you begin a weight loss journey, you are on that journey for your entire life. I don't care what anyone says. Even if you lose all the weight that you want to, even if you are no longer considered obese, overweight, whatever, you still have to deal with the maintenance of keeping up with the physical work, keeping up with the nutritional work, and keeping up with the mindset. Okay? So the person that you were before you decided to go on that journey will always be in you, always wanting you to go backward, always wanting you to revert. And it is so important that I start going to get my hair done professionally, because I'm done with this. I'm over it. But I got off topic. I was speaking on the necessity. Oh, listen, retrograde is over. I have no excuse. Um, the importance of feeling safe in your body. If you do not feel safe in your body will not allow you to release the weight. Okay. As you get older, oh, that was my dog. Woo. As you get older, it will get even harder, especially for those women who may have not felt safe the majority of their life. Maybe they went from not feeling safe in their childhood dynamic with their family or their upbringing to I never felt safe with my family, so I'm going to go out into the world and think I'm going to find something different. But most of the time, you're going to attract your exact upbringing and brand new people in your life. And if you do not actively sit with yourself, do the feeling, do the healing, all the stuff that people say and it sounds good, if you don't do it, you're going to continue to play out the same unhealthy, uncomfortable life patterns again and again, again and again. And like, you know, those people that you kind of just lose hope for, like maybe the older auntie that is probably like in her 50s and she still do a little coke. I don't know who that's for. I ain't got one of those, but like I use the example of like someone in the family that we just know, oh, this aunt is this way. She's always been this way. And we don't expect her to change. And she hasn't expected herself to change. Whether it be drugs or, you know, anything that you do enough of that you don't feel like you can stop becomes a drug. So, yeah. Goes from a vice to a drug. I would say all the cons and struggles, how you overcame them, because that would help others. Let me screenshot that. I would lose 5 pounds, then put on 12. I would lose 10, then put on 20. Oh, girl. I get it. And don't even bring up, I feel like that would be a whole entire other hour if I start talking about that. That's a topic for a different live, but it's not a race. It's a journey. And I'm not trying to like sound like I'm like saying like a speech with like the American flag behind my head right now. Just my hair blowing in the breeze, but it's important. It's so important to work on your mindset and work on the other things that have caused you to fluctuate in your weight, because so many people struggle with emotional eating that comes from feeling something icky and not allowing themselves to fully feel it or sit with themselves and ask, where is this coming from? On a deeper level, where is this actually coming from? I want to see, you know what I think is happening, but that wouldn't make sense because when other people press out my hair, it doesn't happen. Maybe I'm not going over it enough, but I don't want to just burn my hair. I think, you know how after you pass through the hair, a little steam comes off? I think the steam goes back into my hair and like makes it puff. But like I said, like it don't happen when somebody else is pressing my hair. I don't know. I'm gonna give it some time. So there we go. But I enjoyed kicking it with y'all. Even if I'm on here just talking about everything I know or my experience, my wisdom, whatever, I always feel better after talking with you guys. Believe it or not, which I don't know if it is believable or not. I think a lot of people think because of my personality, I have a lot of friends, I'm around a lot of people. I have become very introverted over the years, and I'm still like a sociable person. Like when I am around people, I like to be nice, I like to be bubbly. I don't charge by being around people, honestly. Um, and if I'm not comfortable around other people, I'm gonna be quiet as hell. But that's just because I'm analyzing the room. Capricorn comes in with the blueprint. And they're like, okay, you know how in some movies, like, I don't know which one it is. Is it X-Men or I'm not a very big movie person, but one of the movies where there will be like someone else controlling one of the superheroes or the robots or whatever, and they'll have like a computer system, and our point of view from watching the movie will be seeing like from the view of like a computer screen or whatever. I feel like I drew that out too much, but woo! Ooh, I just pulled a hair out my head. Hold on, y'all. I'm about to cry. I get so frustrated doing my hair. It's ridiculous. I need to talk nicer, more gently to my hair. Maybe it would work with me a little better. I feel like it used to, but when I pulled that hair out of my head, it like immediately made me forget my thought process or why I brought up the whole movie thing. Oh, okay. I really want to be in a space where maybe I just need to go to therapy. But therapy to me feels like so not restricted, but I feel like as soon as you get in there and you get comfortable and you start sharing whatever you need to, it's like, all right, well, I'll see you next month. It don't even be next week no more. Be like next month. And then you just leave like mid trauma wide open, right? Whereas I just, like I said, I've always felt like this was a safe space for me to talk and feel heard. I mean, I guess that is all I really am at the moment because, I mean, y'all can see me too, so I guess I feel seen. But just knowing that a lot of people relate with my story and how I'm feeling and I'm not alone feels really good because community, everybody wants community. I want to build a bigger community, honestly, because little big girl Summer, I call her, she didn't have a community. She had people in her life that loved her a lot, bare minimally, but I never had people that I felt like understood me. I've always felt like I don't communicate well, or people in my life that I chose to allow in my life would tell me that I was not a good communicator. And the entire time we just have different communication styles and I'm not understood. But yeah, I feel like I'm like talking to a friend when I'm talking on live, and nobody even has to be in the room. It's like maybe I'm talking to myself, literally. But when I have live on, it just feels, I don't know, it feels different. I hope that I figure out how to keep my hair straight, because 2 hours later, y'all, I want to say I'm almost done, but there's more hair here than I thought. And I'm very much over it. Very much over it. I think I'm just going to wear it like this tonight and wash it out after the gym tomorrow and keep my curly products in it and stay natural. I love my hair straight more than curly. Everybody else loves my hair curly, but it's not an everybody else season right now. But overall, it's probably healthier for me to wear my hair curly in its natural state. Moisturized. Okay. Take care, beautiful lady. See you on the next live. Yeah, I have just been up here yapping. I know y'all probably tired. So, I was trying to keep the live one until I finished my hair, but it's cool. I'm gonna go ahead and get off. Mind you, I still have like 1,000 calories left for the day that I need to consume, and I'm trying to stop eating after 7, so see how that played out. But I hope you guys have a beautiful night, and I will see you on the next live.